Today we're starting a new meat sauce series, and the first episode is going to be spaghetti with meat sauce. These sometimes you can find for 99 cents to $1.99. They're very good quality. These right here are from Costco. It says packed from the San Marzano region. It's not DOP, which is considered better. You know, it has the Italian seal that the Italian government gives tomatoes. These are cheaper. This is Nina with the DOP stamp. Do these taste different? No, they're both really good. What I like about this one is you can get these at Costco, I believe, for $4.49 or $4.99. Finally, here's Cento. These are San Marzano. This is typically $2.99 in the New York metro area. Whole plum tomatoes are always going to be more expensive than crushed. And when you want to make a good sauce, a good ragu, you really want to start with these good tomatoes. Just so I'm making it clear, this is 108 ounces, so it's 3.5 of a standard 28-ounce can. I'm going to open up one of those, and that would be enough for you guys to do a full sauce, but I'm making, triple the amount. So let's take those plum tomatoes and put them in a bowl, and use a shield hand and your regular hand, and you can crush them. And I did one small can at a time, and there it is, hand crushed. You could also blend or pulse these for 2 seconds. That's totally fine and totally appropriate if you want. I'm going to use the back of your knife and hit the garlic. Give it one tap and you'll be able to remove the skin fairly easily. And then I'm going to slice up the garlic. And you can mince this too. You can even leave them whole and remove them if you want. I'm going to do one onion. And you can do a fine chop here. You can do a not so fine chop. It really doesn't matter. And if you don't like a lot of onion, use a little bit or even omit it. The sauce is going to be totally fine. I am using garlic and onion in this ragu. Typically in like a Sunday gravy, Sunday sauce, I don't. But I figured today, why not? And I always suggest you change things up if you want. If you say, you know what, this recipe needs something, then you add it. Is it really going to be different if you omit the garlic or the onion here? No, because the meat is the predominant flavor in this meat sauce. So we're going to keep the heat medium-low in a heavy Dutch oven, and we're going to start our onions. And we're going to just get them translucent, so that's why we want to keep the heat low. We don't want to put color on them or anything like that. And that's the tomato paste, and I'm just opening the cans, because that's going to go in before the plum tomatoes do. So the onions are translucent. And I cook them first and then cook the garlic, just because the garlic doesn't take quite as long and it can tend to burn a little bit easier. Cook that garlic in there for a couple minutes and then get the beef and the pork in. So 1 pound of beef, 1 pound of pork. And you can break it up with your spoon to try to make the pieces smaller. My beef was a little frozen here, so I'm just kind of like putting it on the bottom, then scraping it off and turning and So you can see there's a lot of fat in here. A lot of fat, which is really good. We want a lot of fat in it. You don't want to remove the fat here. You're getting the fat from the beef and the fat from the pork. This is not, you're not trying to do a healthy ragu or anything like that. If you want to be a little bit more, you maybe go for sirloin, maybe like a 90-10 grind. Using chuck, it has more fat, it has more flavor. It's going to give your sauce more flavor. I'm almost tripling the recipe here. So the recipe calls for 3 cans of San Marzano Plum tomatoes, 1 can of paste, 2 pounds of meat, 1 pound beef, 1 pound pork. I'm essentially tripling it here. So I have like 9 cans. I got more meat over on the side that's cooking, but that doesn't matter. So you can always scale this up and you can make, as much as you need, because I'm going to make 4 or 5 different dishes with this sauce that we're making today. Tomato paste. Let's get a full can, which is 6 ounces, a standard tomato paste can in America. Get the full can into the beef and the pork and mix it around and let it cook out for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's always a good idea to let your paste cook for a couple minutes. Let's get dry white wine into the pot, about 1/2 cup to 1 cup, and use a spoon to scrape the bottom and get all the brown bits off. You can use Sauvignon Blanc, you can use Pinot Grigio. Any dry white wine is totally fine. I'm going to put about 1 teaspoon of kosher salt in here right now and about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Just go easy on the salt in the beginning. You can always add more salt at the end, but you can't take it away. And yeah, there it is. It's got a nice consistency already. And here's our plum tomatoes. So it's 3 full cans, 3 full 28-ounce cans. And I'm going to get it into the pot without dumping my whole bowl inside of it. And it's pretty close to the top, but we're good. That's looking really good. And just stir it all around. Just make sure you're getting everything off the bottom of the pot. It looks great. Here it is. It's going to get better the longer you let it cook. If you can let this go overnight, meaning, you cook it for a while, a couple hours, let it cool, let it sit in the fridge, it'll get even better. I promise you. Just like the Sunday gravy one, just like bolognese. I'm going to take my lid and I'm going to crack it like that. That's going to do two things. It's going to allow evaporation to occur at not a rapid rate, but it will allow evaporation to occur. If you just keep it completely closed, you're pretty much your sauce won't get any thicker. It'll just kind of stay that way because any moisture, everything is just going to hit the top of the lid and it's going to go right back down. The other thing is it's going to prevent your sauce from bubbling all over and, going all over the place. One thing that I forgot to mention is you want to, every roughly 15 minutes, you want to be taking up your lid and stirring the bottom so nothing sticks. And because even with an enamel Dutch oven like this, it can still stick. I'm tasting the sauce right now. I want to make sure that it's perfect. I'm going to adjust any salt and pepper. I have my pasta water boiling, and I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of kosher salt per gallon of water. It's always a good general rule to follow when you're boiling pasta. Do not put any oil in the water. Don't do that. Okay, spaghetti. Gonna get it in the pot. Spaghetti tends to stick, so make sure you use your tongs and mix for the first 30 seconds to 1 minute. And there's some good bread. You gotta have the bread when you have a sauce or a hearty ragu, and you gotta have the pecorino romano cheese or the parmigiano reggiano cheese. The choice is yours. So I'm gonna keep stirring that, making sure nothing is sticking. And it's been about 8 minutes or whatever, and I'm tasting it, making sure that it's right consistency. I want it like just al dente. And once it's good, I'm going to put in a couple ladles of sauce into a bowl. You can do this into your big serving bowl. And then I'm just going to pull the pasta out. And, drain it well. I'm just pulling out with tongs here, but drain it really well. Maybe just throw it all in a colander. This is like one of the main dishes that you don't need pasta water for. You got your whole ragu here. So I'm just going to toss. I'm not going to over sauce it, but I definitely want to get a decent amount of that hearty meat sauce on there. You got so much of it here that you'll just leave it on the table, which is what you should do. And, you have your bread, and then anybody can dip bread in. Now that looks really good, just like that. So I'm going to make some nests because it's fancy and it looks better. And I'm just putting it in a plate right now, but typically you would bring your whole platter to the table and you would just spoon individual nests or create individual nests for each person. All right, so a little bit more ragu on there. Oh man, that's good. And then grated pecorino romano cheese. Just get it all over there, and put more on the side. Well, since I'm the chef and you're the chef, make sure it tastes good before you serve it to anybody else. It's perfect. Made the pasta al dente just the way I like it. The sauce coats it really well, and the sauce is only going to get better. And I have so much meat sauce here. So this is spaghetti with meat sauce, and I'll see you for the next episode where we're going to use the meat sauce again for a pasta al forno or a baked rigatoni.